Hi, Janis Montalvo, living in Lenawee Realty, and I'm the broker owner, and we're here just to answer some questions about first-time home sellers. I know that there's a lot of questions, so let's answer as many as we can to get you started. That's a great question. In fact, I think the first step you should take is to invite us over to take a look at your home. Walking through the home, talking about the process, taking a look at any projects that you may want to do, and really talking about how we're going to go and how we work to make sure that we work together well. So I think that's the first thing is let's just set up an appointment to talk about the home selling process. The asking price really is determined by the market. So as the market fluctuates, so does the price of your home. So we always do a comparable market analysis where we look at what's sold, what's on the market, how long it's been on the market, so that we can give you the best professional advice at where you should list your home at. So we'll always do a market analysis to give you that advice. I think that's always a great question because people think they should do all of these home improvements, and some of them add value and some of them do not. So I think reaching out and sitting down and talking about these projects will add value and these won't, I think really are the best advice that we can give you is to really walk through the home and look at how we can add value, and really things that aren't going to add value, aren't really going to help, then we're just going to not do that honey-do list. But I do love honey-do lists, and most of them start with decluttering. Again, that's going to depend on the market. So we're still in a really strong seller's market currently in Lenawee County, but that's going to fluctuate. So we can always, when we sit down and we do that market analysis, we're going to look at what the time on the market is, the active markets, the recent sold, and we can give you a pretty good prediction based on where you list the price of your home is going to determine on how long it takes to sell it. I think that's what people need to understand. And a lot of times a realtor doesn't give you those costs. We always give you a breakdown of exactly what your outgoing costs are. There's commission, title work, deed prep, transfer tax, and of course there's probably some costs associated with the title company as well, and the payoff of your mortgage. So when we determine a price that we think we should list your home at, we're going to give you a breakdown of those costs so you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to walk away with and what your outgoing costs are when you list your home. You only get one chance to make a first impression, from the time they drive past your house and see the sign in your yard to the time they walk in the door. So doing anything you can, from what they see to what they smell to what they feel, and making it depersonalized is really important. So we'll walk through it and make you walk through it as well, making you feel like what would a buyer feel like when they walk in your home. And I think that's how we make it appeal to as many buyers as possible. Showings and open houses are really, first of all, you're not going to be home. Second of all, the agent's going to access that through a central lock, so it's very secure. We know the exact moment that that agent enters into your home, and we're going to make sure that we provide you with feedback on exactly what was said. So we're going to make sure that you know what's going on with all of the showings, but we want to make sure that we're going to be honest with you. So positive and negative, we want you to hear it all on what happened on that showing on your home. I think choosing the right realtor is who you feel most comfortable with. Of course, I want it to be us, but I also want to make sure that we feel comfortable with you. So, going through this process, you want someone that you can feel comfortable with, someone who communicates, someone that is open and honest. A lot of times realtors come in and they want to buy the listing at a high price. That doesn't do you any good. We want to be honest and upfront, and we want to communicate with you on exactly how this process works and exactly what you can expect, so that when you choose the realtor, you choose Living in Lenawee Realty. Well, multiple offers have been something we've seen a lot of lately. So typically what we do is I actually do a Google sheet. We'll sit down and we'll look at what the offer is, if there's concessions, how many days they want for inspections, and we'll give you our opinion on which one we think is the strongest offer and which one we recommend that you take. There's a lot of times you'll see some what we call love letters. We don't recommend you look at those because really it's probably the biggest financial, especially as a first-time home seller, it's a huge financial decision that you're making. So we're there to guide you through this and give you the best advice to make the best financial decision for you and your home. Thanks for joining us on these questions. If you have more, feel free to reach out to us. We specialize in making sure that we don't have homeless clients. Selling your first home and making sure that you transition into that second home can be very, very stressful, and we want to make it as easy as possible. So reach out with any questions. If you just want to sit down and talk about the process more, reach out with that for sure. We look forward to working with you, and best of luck on selling your first home.